Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. When David Austen started breeding the Old English roses to give us the new English roses, the rosarians have gone absolutely crazy about all the new varieties that look like the old roses from the master paintings. And so they are the sort of doubles in most cases, not always, but they're probably one of the most beautiful roses ever bred. Now, the English rose climbers. Now, some of the varieties of David Austen roses, when pruned, particularly with summer pruning, maintain a shrub form, where some others have a tendency, if you don't prune them, to become climbers. Now, they're low climbers. They're not a rambler that goes out like 15, 20 feet. But they will do exactly that. They will climb, so they may need a support. They're very, very good on arbors, trellises, walls, etc. But they also do well growing up through other trees, which is the way I grow mine. So here's a few of the roses that you can select to grow both in your garden as a shrub, but also as a climber. And we'll start with some of the more hardier ones. Abraham Darby climber is hardy to zone 4, so it is one of the hardier of the David Austen roses. It is a repeat bloomer. It has that big cup-shaped flowers in the shades of apricot and yellow. It's very vigorous growth, and it's very good for training on the walls or as a pillar. It has a rich, fruity fragrance and a height of 8 feet. So there you go. A smaller climber, within reason, 8 feet. And if you take the wands or the canes and you pull them sideways along a wall, you will find that they will produce side shoots which also bloom. And it is a repeat bloomer that is fragrant. So there's the first one. The second one is Shropshire Lad. Now this is a climber, or it can be done also as a bush. It's hardy to zone 4 as well, repeat blooming. It has this perfectly soft peachy pink rosettes. They have a strong fruity tea fragrance. So that tea rose fragrance that you're used to, add a little bit of fruit to it, and that's the fragrance that you'll get. It's very, very tough, healthy, and reliable, which is exactly what we're looking for in a rose. Has lots of glossy foliage with very few thorns. Hey, less thorns? It's a lot easier to look after. Superb climber for arches, pillars, walls, or trellises with a height of 10 feet. I really like this one. Benjamin Britten, which is the climber, repeat blooming. It is hardy to zone 5. It has an unusual color and a strong shade of salmon pink to pure pink. The blooms have a powerful fruity fragrance. I like that. Very healthy. Won a Best Climber Award in Adelaide, Australia, and its height is 8 to 10 feet. The next climbing rose from David Austen that you want to take a look at is Brother Cadfael. It is a climber. It is a repeat bloomer. A very large, sumptuous bloom of rich pink with particularly strong old rose fragrance. So it is that old rose fragrance. Strong, upright growth. It is easy to train sideways once the stems are mature. So in other words, you can go and you can pull it over, as I described earlier, to get you some more roses. Height is 8 feet, and definitely a good TV series, but also a good rose as well. Now, Claire Austen is another. Again, hardy to zone 5. It's a repeat bloomer, large creamy white blossoms with an English musk delicate scent. The strong myrrh fragrance with a hint of meadow sweet, vanilla, and heliotrope. I like that. It's an elegant, very healthy climber, superb for walls, trellises, or a rose pillar with a height of 8 feet. Constance Spry climbing. This one's been around quite a long time, and it is very, very popular. It's a glorious climber bearing gorgeous rose pink, peony-sized blooms. It's very strong myrrh fragrance. This was the first English rose and still one of the most popular varieties, even though it is only a once flower, so it does not repeat. Still very popular. Now the next one is the one that I love and grow. It is Crown Princess Margaret. It's a climber. It is hardy to zone 4, repeat blooming, exquisite apricot orange rosettes with a strong fruity fragrance. All of that is exactly what it says. I love this rose bush. And the nice thing about this one is it's vigorous. It is healthy. I don't have problems with it. It's hardy. It's great for walls, small arches, pillars. It was named for the granddaughter of Queen Victoria, who is also, by the way, a very accomplished gardener. Height is 9 to 11 feet, and I've got it up around 9-10 feet right now. What I did was I planted it at the base of a southern magnolia, and down in that area I've just let it grow, and so it becomes more of a shrub, and the wands have a tendency to just cascade over because I'm not pruning it back, and as they do, they produce the side branches naturally. But the ones that are in such a position that I can train them up through the branches, I have, and they continue to bloom up through the southern magnolia. So it works out really, really well, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's one I go and pick and occasionally bring one to my wife, but it's the one that everybody who walks by stops just to have a smell because it's right at the end of the property where everyone can see it and smell it. The next one is Eleganttine climbing. It is a zone 5 rose, repeat blooming, perfectly formed, soft pink blooms like a saucer. It's pink and it's a delicate, nice, soft pink. But so is its fragrance. It's an old rose fragrance, which is delicate. Its height is only 6 to 8 feet, and it will grow well, but it will get bigger, that full 6 to 8 feet, in warmer climates. So if you're trying to grow this one in zone 5, expect it to be more of a 6-foot climber, so it's a little smaller. Evelyn is a climber. It's a repeat bloomer, giant, large apricot blooms with a very beautiful, fruity, old rose fragrance. It's almost thornless. It's best in the warmer climates because it is a zone 6. Height is only 6 feet. So you've got one that can be used either on fences or walls, but also as a cascade into a garden as a big, big filler. And other plants could sort of grow around and through it, which is kind of nice as well. Falstaff is another. It's a hardy to zone 5, repeat bloomer, large cupped, many petals of dark, rich crimson. I like this, okay? It's a red. It develops a rich purple tones as it gets older, which many of the old English roses did. It has a strong old rose fragrance. It's best on a wall or a pillar. Fan some of the stems out to the sides, sort of to encourage more production of flowers. It's very important on this one, with a height of 6 feet. Gertrude Jekyll. This English rose is hardy to zone 4. It the one that many people actually do sell here in this area. Repeat blooming, large rosette-shaped flowers of pink, one of the strongest, most delicious of all rose fragrances. It's effective when it's fanned out against a wall or a trellis. The repeat flowers less well in the hotter areas. So in other words, it does better in the zone 4, 5, and 6, but avoid it in 7 and 8 because it won't give you as many blooms for the second set of blooms. Golden Celebration, hardy to zone 5, repeat flowering, very golden yellow with a strong fruity fragrance. Makes a really bold statement wherever this is planted. Height is 8 to 10 feet. That sort of says it right there. Graham Thomas is a climber. It is hardy to zone 5. Repeat bloomer. It is a magnificent, large flowers, rich, cup-shaped, and vigorous. It's healthy. It can be trained against walls, trellises, small arches, or rose pillars. Basically, it's great. It also has a strong, fresh tea fragrance, which is nice, by the way. It is one of the world's most famous and popular roses. Heritage Climber is the next one. It's hardy to zone 5. Repeat flowering. It forms blooms of soft, clear pink, paling, so it fades almost to a white towards the edges. Strong, beautiful fragrance. The notes of fruit and honey and carnation. And anybody who's ever smelt carnation knows what that's like. It's sort of like a cinnamon. Almost thornless. Height is only 7 feet. James Galloway is the next one. It is hardy to zone 4. It does repeat bloom. It's one of the best climbing roses for walls, pillars, arches, and trellises. It's nice form. The rosettes are full. They're a warm pink that pale at the edges. It's almost thornless. It's very robust, very healthy. It has that old rose fragrance, medium strength in the fragrance, and a height of 10 feet. Now, Jude the Obscure. Now, this one I've never seen for sale. I'm not saying that it isn't around. I'm just saying I've never seen it. It's hardy to zone 5, repeat blooms, large cupped blossoms that incurves the outer petals. It's beautiful, soft, yellow color. It's exceptionally strong, complex, fruity fragrance, which is what it's known for. It has notes of guava and sweet white wine. That's an interesting smell. Particularly good in the warmer areas. Maybe that's why I haven't seen it in this area. Strong, upright growth. Height is 8 to 10 feet. Lady of Shallot is a zone 5 rose. Repeat blooms, rich orange-red buds, open to the chalice-shaped roses that have an unusual shade of salmon and yellow. Tea fragrance, extremely healthy and reliable. It's best when it's fanned out against a wall or a trellis where it will repeat flower very quickly. I like that part right there. Height is 8 feet. Snow Goose. Now this one is only hardy to zone 6. It's a repeat bloomer. It loves the heat of the North American summer, so it's going to really like it around here. Small, white, double flowers. They're held in sprays, so this one's going to look a little different than the rest. Delicious. It's got a musky fragrance. Strong grower. Almost thornless stems. Makes it easy to train on the walls, arches, trellises. Excellent that way. Height is 8 to 10 feet. There are many others, whether it's St. Swithin's, Strawberry Hill, Tess of D'Urberville, which I always have a hard time saying, but Again, these are out there. They are around. Take a look at them. And if it's a David Austen bred rose, you know that it's a great rose and probably going to be great in your garden. So make sure you give it good conditions. And, of course, that's sunny, good air movement, and give it a little bit of care. Don't overfeed it, and go and train it the way you want it to grow, whether it's a bush or a climber, because many of them will go both ways, and some are only climbers. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.